What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for an England preview again. Who thought it'd go on this long? We're here for the semi-final preview. Uncharted territory for me here against Croatia at the World Cup in Russia 2018. Who actually thought England would make it this far? Certainly not me, but fantastic achievement. Well done to Gareth Southgate and all of the players and all of the staff. Absolutely fantastic. They should all be so proud. They should go into this game with a lot of confidence and no pressure because they've already overachieved. They've got nothing else left to achieve. I mean, semi-final still regarded as a huge success, and it's helped reignite the country into get a feel of good international football. It's been ages since I've actually enjoyed international football with England, so fantastic achievement that. But what a chance this is for England to reach a World Cup final. Not just England, but for Croatia too. Absolutely fantastic opportunity for both sides. They don't normally get to World Cup finals. England have only ever got there once and all obviously won it. Croatia's been to a semi-final. England's been to a semi-final. It comes around like once every 20 years or so. And it's the perfect opportunity for one of the clubs to go make history and get to a World Cup final. Absolutely fantastic. The match will be taking place in Moscow. It'll be at the Luzhniki Stadium. That's CSKA Moscow's ground. That is also the location for the World Cup final. So always an added bonus that they're both going to get a feel for the pitch, and so yeah, both got things to look forward to here. Now, I've been looking at both of the sides. I've been identifying areas of weaknesses, identifying areas of strengths, and to be honest with you, there's not a lot wrong with either side, if I'm honest. Croatia, the main thing they need to do is find a way of keeping Harry Kane quiet in this game. They're going to have to try and stop Raheem Sterling's runs, and the way they're going to do that is, rather than like sitting deeper like Sweden did, I imagine they're probably going to try and dominate in the midfield. They're going to try and keep the midfield running, keep things passing, keep things ticking. They are a passing side, let's not forget, so they'll try and keep things moving at their pace and how they want to dictate the game. Obviously, as they go forward, then the forward players for England are going to have to trap back, and that then ends up nulling England's attack with players like Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling forced to come back and help the midfield out, because England, remember, only go kind of with two in midfield, whereas Croatia, I imagine, are probably going to go with three, and with the wingers pulling in as well, it could end up being a five in midfield. So England are going to need Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, very important in this game, to just track back. Jesse Lingard was all over the place against Sweden, running here, there and everywhere, so we need him to do the same. Jordan Henderson to do the same, and Dele Alli just needs to step up his game in midfield too, and make sure that they don't get overran by players like Luka Modric, by players like Perisic, and by players like Rakitic, who are all excellent football players, so they need to make sure that they try and just tone it down a bit and keep them quiet. Now, problem number one for England, apart from that midfield, is they've got a great striker up front, Mario Mandzukic. Now, if you remember how good he was for Juventus at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid in the second leg of their Champions League game, he bullied Real Madrid's defence. And so I'm concerned that England's defence might get bullied. In particular, I'm concerned that he might recognise that Harry Maguire and John Stones are quite tall and powerful, so he's going to have his job on dealing with them two. I have a feeling he might just swing slightly to his left or England's right. Kieran Trippier will be getting forward, so he'll have to just be told just to maybe hold back a little bit and be a little bit more conservative, because I imagine that Croatia might target in the air Kyle Walker, who isn't as strong as John Stones or Harry Maguire. And so a way to deal with that with England is, like I said, just to move the midfield in, give him a bit more support, make sure there's cover behind Kyle Walker, make sure there's cover in front of him, so that's where Jordan Henderson comes into it. He was fantastic against Sweden in doing that as well, and finding the blocks and everything, and just make sure that when it comes to it, play to the player's strength. So we need to make sure that Kyle Walker goes into a running race with Mandzukic, because obviously Kyle Walker is very quick and that's one of his strengths, and I imagine England will be trying to pass it out, and one thing England did very well against Sweden was recognising the need when to go long, and that's very important. England need to recognise, particularly Sterling and Kane, when they're dropping deep and covering, is to when to move back and able to get involved into the game. And so we're looking at, like I said, at players like Henderson, Ali and Jesse Lingard, just to maybe push the midfield up and then know when to come back and sit back. Obviously, England's got the job on here with the midfield. I'm very concerned with the midfield because they've got an excellent midfield that play the top clubs like Real Madrid, that play the top clubs like Barcelona. They know exactly what they're doing in the midfield, and so England need to just make sure that they work on that in training, make sure they're working on a tactic to be able to contain the midfield and null basically Modric and Rakitic in particular, null them out of the game, because if there's no service to Mandzukic, or there's very few service, then England stand a much better chance of not conceding in this game. I don't think England will keep a clean sheet. As great as Jordan Pickford has been in this tournament, I don't think England will manage to keep a clean sheet, not for 90 minutes in this game. So we're looking at England to try and get forward and score goals. It's so important whoever scores first, because obviously there's going to be a lot of pressure on the side that needs to go forward and make things happen. That is when gaps appear. England, Be fantastic if we can get the first goal. Now, one of England's biggest strengths actually has been attack, and when they've gone forward, they managed to come out with things like throw-ins, managed to get bowled into the box, but one thing they've been so good on is when they've won niggly little free kicks, 30, 35 yards out, or on the edges of the area and managed to put balls in, and from corner kicks. And that will be a huge concern to Croatia. I know they've got Dejan Lovren in the defence, but they need to find a way of dealing with England's defence and the big players when they come forward. One thing England need to do from the set pieces, if they do clear it, is to manage to have some kind of line outside of the box for players to try and mop up, be prepared to take fouls, take yellow cards, put the ball out, just nip in the bud basically a counter-attack that's possible. England are very aggressive on the set piece. It's quite unusual how aggressive England are on the set piece, hence they're getting a lot of penalties. Teams are outnumbered, they're struggling to cope with England's height. We saw it against Sweden. Harry Maguire managed to find a space out of nothing and find a fantastic header. That will concern Croatia. If England were going up against a team that could do that and they were going with 6 men in the box and players that were good in the air, it'd concern me a lot. So obviously they're going to want to cut out the mistakes and giving England easy set pieces. So that's again important. This is where Sterling comes into it. Everyone's been criticising Raheem Sterling, but Sterling's been fantastic in actually winning England these set pieces, getting forward, hitting it against the players, getting tackled. He has a lot of pace, he causes a lot of problems. Raheem Sterling, I'm sure Croatia, people have been calling for Sterling to get dropped. Croatia would love for Raheem Sterling to get dropped. That's one headache for them, less to deal with. I would personally play with him. I'd go with the same squad. We'll stick with what we've done. If we go out, we go out. That's as simple as that. And then we have to hold our hands up and say that we've been beaten by a very good side. In the rankings, these two right next to each other. This is neck and neck. This is a very close, tight, conservative game. I'm not expecting it to be a classic. Let's face it, it will be a classic for England fans. So if England do end up winning this and get into the World Cup final, the country will just go into meltdown and it will stand still. But one thing to look out for Croatia, the last 2 games have gone to penalties for them, so they've had an extra 60 minutes played on top of their 180 minutes that they've already played. Obviously, England's gone to extra time once in the last 16. They were so comfortable. A couple of the players got a rest against Sweden towards the end. So England, I'm expecting to be a little bit fresher. I know it might not mean a lot, but if the game ends up going into extra time because it's that tight, Croatia might just start feeling the effects of it a little bit. Maybe towards the end, England can then start trying to make things happen. I mean, that's how close I'm expecting this game to be. I've gone for a 1-1 going to penalty shootouts. Please. Oh, man, I don't think I'm mentally prepared for that or physically, but that's what I reckon might happen. England need to use their experience. Obviously, I'm looking for Pickford. If he can have a worldie game again, that gives England a great chance. But their goalkeeper, Subasic, has been fantastic for them. He picked up a hamstring injury twice in one game. Will he play? They'll probably risk him, let's face it. So we're looking for the England midfield to try and stand tall to their midfield. They need to cover, make sure there's no gaps there. And as far as I'm concerned, from when I've seen the Moscow pitch, it is quite big. But Croatia have been, they do concede. There are gaps there. There are ways in. England need to make sure psychologically and mentally they can get on top, get an early goal. That'd be fantastic. If they can get ahead at any point, that'd be even better, because it'd just be superb to get ahead early. Croatia do like scoring early as well, but obviously I'm expecting this game maybe just to take it a step back a bit. I'm expecting both sides maybe to try and suss each other out early on rather than go all guns blazing and leaving gaps. You never know though, this is a World Cup semi-final, anything goes. All I know is I want England to win. I'd be absolutely ecstatic if they could win. But I'm expecting to go the same side, so we'll pop up my team prediction. I mean, if you don't agree with this, then, you know, I'm not too sure what you're ever going to agree with me, because, let's face it, this is England's strongest side. So we've got Pickford, we've got Trippier, Walker, followed by Stones, Maguire, Ashley Young. Also got Henderson sitting in front, and then we're going to have Dele Alli, we're going to have Jesse Lingard covering in patches, and then we're also going to have Raheem Sterling, followed by Harry Kane. That's England's strongest side. England will go with that 11. Predictable, maybe England will throw out a surprise or two. I wouldn't expect it though, but I don't want this to be a good game, if I'm honest. I don't want to say, oh, I want this to be a good game and a classic game. I don't. I just want England to win by any means necessary, because, you know what I mean, we've got this far. We both want a final. It's a great opportunity for both sides. So there we go. That's been the preview. I don't think there's a lot more else to discuss. If there is, just leave it in the comments and we'll interact in the comments. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. We'll have the review up of the big semi-final match on Thursday morning. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe. Notifications on. We've got daily football content. If you are interested in any of my other videos, you can go check them out. You can go check out my brother's channel, Mix. They do mixology drinks. I'll leave a link to that at the end of the video, along with my second channel, JSGC Gaming. You go like and subscribe subscribe over there if you wish. You can also check out my social media links. They're in the description below, my Twitter and Instagram. Also my email to with any business inquiries. And I'll see you all again for daily football videos. All the review up on Thursday. Enjoy the game. I'll see you all, and it's been JSGC. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Everyone will be tuning in England. I can guarantee it. This could break television records. Peace. Ciao for now.